I can't believe I'm saying this, but we're already halfway through the year. We're in June, guys. But just because we're halfway through the year doesn't mean we don't have anything left to look forward to. There's so many book, movie, and TV releases still to come throughout the rest of this year. So today we're going to talk about them so you can plan your watch list, your TBR, whatever you want. So sit back, relax, get a snack, because today we're going to dive into all the things that I am most looking forward to throughout the rest of the year. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, but let's get into the video. I'm not going to go in any particular order today. Books, TV, movies, it's all going to be mixed in together. Let's talk about Time of Your Life by Jessa Hastings, which I have a feeling is what I'm going to be having while reading this. This has literally been dropped as a surprise a month before its release, which is crazy. We've already had one Jessa Hastings release this year with The Conditions of Will, which was a 6-star read for me. So to say I'm excited is an understatement. This comes out in July. We literally don't even have a cover yet. But what we do know is it is set in 1995 and it is essentially a rock star romance between a rock star and a supermodel. There could not be anything more me-coded if it tried. Jessa also did a Q&A about this on her Instagram and she described it as being most similar out of her catalogue of work to Magnolia Parks, which is obviously one of my favourite series ever. So the fact that we're getting something that feels a bit like Magnolia Parks, but it's set in 1995, the year I was born. It's a rock star romance, my favourite music genre. It's 90s culture, my favourite decade. Like, it's made for me. It's made for me, but I do think everyone is just going to love this in general. I'm super excited about this. I hope we get more details and a blurb and a cover soon. R.F. Kuang has a new release coming out. You have to live under a rock not to have heard of this. Now, there's various different ways that people are pronouncing this. We've got Katabasis, we've got Katabasis, and we've got Katabasis. I don't know which one it is, but either way, whatever it's called, I'm excited. I have read the Poppy War series, although I do have half of Burning Gods still to do, but that's because I got the ending spoiled, so I've been putting it off. I love that series so much. It's everything I love in fantasy. Her world building is like simple, it's based on history, but it's so hard hitting and poignant, full of character development, like true villains, morally grey protagonist, like there's just so much to it. So I'm really excited that she's delving into something that leans fantasy again. I have not read Babel or Yellowface, but they are on my TBR after enjoying the Poppy Wars so heavily. So I'm really excited about this. I also really like the cover. I've seen mixed reviews so far, but I have faith. I'm real excited for Materialists, which is a movie coming out this summer and it's a romance. I am really excited about this. It is a A24 movie. I have big expectations for this. I think we're going to get a romance that feels like the 2000s again, where rom-coms were such a strong genre and they were delivered so well. I feel like we haven't had very many good romance movies in the last 5 years. The ones that we do get that I feel are good tend to be more melancholic, like Past Lives by Celine Song. So I'm excited for something that feels fun, fresh, but still romantic. A Theory of Dreaming by Ava Reid. If you know me, then you know I absolutely love A Study in Drowning. Here's my beautiful special edition of it. This is one of my favourite YA books ever because I just think it blends so many different genres and moods. It's eerie, but it's whimsical. It's dark academia, but it's fantasy, but it's romance. It's quite unique. I also just love the characters. Effie is definitely not your stereotypical sassy badass FMC. She's a lot softer. And same with the love interest, Preston. He's not your typical love interest in a fantasy book, but I love them. And when I finished this book, I did think the ending felt not unfinished. I was completely satisfied with the conclusion, but it did feel like there was room left to go further. So when they announced the sequel, I was like, yes, because there's definitely things we could explore more, definitely in terms of Effie and Preston's relationship at the very least, but also I think where the magic was left could also be interesting. I'd like to see more of the world and more of the magic system. Alchemised by SenLinYu. If you followed me on TikTok, then you know that Manacled is what got me into Dramini fanfiction, like many people, but also my top read of 2023. So to hear it getting traditionally published and rewritten with a new world, with a new magic system, with new characters, but hopefully still having the essence of the original fic, I am beyond excited for that. The cover looks beautiful too. The blurb sounds great. I was really excited to see that it's still high reeve. So I think that this is going to be a winner. If you don't know, Manacled was, like I said, a Dramini fanfic which follows Draco and Hermione in a world where Voldemort has won the war. It's also inspired by Handmaid's Tale, so it is very dark. You might associate fanfics with like being cheesy or like Wattpad vibes, but it's not that at all. So I'm really excited to hopefully have like a truly dark fantasy come out this autumn. Season 2 of Wednesday is coming out in summer, August, I believe, near my birthday, which is funny because basically Wednesday Addams and the Addams family has a very special place in my heart in general. I grew up with my mum calling me Wednesday because I was such a sarcastic, like a deadpan child. I'm obviously very into gothic things as well and very alternative. It's probably less common for you to be able to tell that if you're new to this channel or new to me, because these days I've been dressing a lot more colourful, my hair's lighter, but I used to be very emo, very goth. So all that to say that I am super excited for season 2. I loved season 1. Tim Burton is another favourite one of my filmmakers, so combining the two together was always going to be a win-win for me. I think Jenna Ortega is absolutely spot on with her portrayal of Wednesday's mannerisms as well. The plot was super interesting in season 1 with it being like a murder mystery. I am intrigued to see what they do with like the romance elements of it, because I know that Jenna has been pretty vocal about what she thinks is realistic for Wednesday as a character. So I'm intrigued to see where they go with season 2 for sure. Medusa is a book that I'm also really excited for. If you don't know, the author, Rosie Hewlett, had a book that came out in 2024 called Medea, which is about one of the Greek gods and goddesses, and Medea is Circe's niece and she is also a sorceress. It was filled with feminine rage. I absolutely loved the book. The cover is stunning. So to get another one by the same author and it be Medusa's story, very excited. Very interested to see the direction that they'll go with this, whether they stay true to how Medusa has been treated in Greek mythology or if they will sensationalize it a little bit. Just really excited to see where this goes, but I have no doubt it will also be filled with feminine rage since Medea was too. 28 years later, super excited for. I love a zombie film. I love anything post-apocalyptic in general. And I just think that zombies are so terrifying, especially when they're fast-moving zombies. I'm literally watching The Last of Us right now and absolutely loving it. So I'm just like back in my zombie horror era. This is obviously a sequel to an absolute classic. But what I'm most excited about for this is the way it's been shot. I've seen a lot behind the scenes of the filmmaking process for this. The rigs that they have set up with hundreds of iPhones. Obviously, the director has a very specific way that he shoots a lot of his work in general and the original 28 Days Later. So I'm really interested to see how they bring that to 2025. This one's really, really special, you guys. And I know I've said I'm super excited and a lot of things are really special in this video, but this is a proof of A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana, who is the author of The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, a book I absolutely loved. But this is the proof copy and it has my name on the back. Bronte's Books, that's me, and it has my quote, which is, "I am beyond excited for Sangu's latest release." They only used a snippet of what I actually said, sadly, because some of the other ones are quite long, but I'll take it. I'm on there, and that's all that matters. I'm very excited about this. It's going to be similar vibes, cozy romantasy. I don't want to know too much more about the actual plot than that. I'm really excited to go into this blind, like how I did with The Very Secret Society, because it was just so unique and fresh and just such a breath of fresh air and sunshine. Like, I absolutely loved reading that book. It was such an experience. I'm also really excited for Frankenstein. The cast in this is insane. We've got Jacob Elordi, who is one of my favourite current actors of this generation. I have never actually seen a screen adaptation of Frankenstein or read the original classic book, so I only really know the very basics of the plot and what to expect, but I obviously know that it's going to have some sort of gothic edge to it in the way that they shoot it as well, so I am really excited for this. Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. I'm a big Rebecca Ross fan, loved Divine Rivals, loved A River Enchanted, both of those were 5-star reads for me. Her sequels to those books were slightly both less. Ruthless Vows was a 3-star and A Fire Endless was 4 stars. So I am a little bit nervous that I don't know if A Wild Reverence is a standalone or a series or what, but I'm a bit nervous that if it is a series, I won't like the conclusion or the follow-up as much. However, what I do know I love about Rebecca Ross is her writing. I think she is so talented at writing. She writes in the most descriptive, poetic way, which really lends itself to the genres that she writes. She definitely picks fantasy that is very rooted in mythology, and it's also really unique a lot of the time too. Like Divine Rivals is really, really unique. So I'm really excited to see what we get with A Wild Reverence. The Fantastic Four. Oh my gosh, guys, I am such an old school Marvel fan. I know a lot of people love Marvel now, but I liked it like the old stuff. I have gone off it a bit in recent years. Like, I did like Avengers and stuff, don't get me wrong, but other films around the same time as Avengers I just wasn't that bothered about. But the original Fantastic Four with Jessica Alba, love. Didn't love the remake so much with Miles Teller, but I'm excited for this. The cast is great. Vanessa Kirby, Pedro Pascal. Don't love how they've made Johnny look, the Human Torch. He looks a bit weird, but I'm so excited about Eben playing the Thing because I'm a big fan of The Bear. I'm also a huge fan of Girls, and he was in both of those, and he's an incredible actor. Really excited to see him do more mainstream Hollywood stuff. I also like that this is more of an origin story and it's set in the 60s, which will make it feel a bit different to the other Fantastic Four films, but I'm excited for some action. I'm excited for like classic Marvel goodness, hopefully. How to Train Your Dragon. This is live action. I do hate when they make live action versions of movies that are already great. Like, what's the need? Especially because with this, Toothless looks no different to how he does in the animated films. However, I am still excited because I really like the cast and it has a great score. So I just think this will be a great cinema experience, even if it isn't necessarily something new, just because of how much I love the original film anyway. It's one of my favourite animated films. So I'm just excited for that in general. Let's see some dragons flying, you know, like as a fantasy reader, it's just going to be a fun, good time. There's a ton of A24 movies coming out that I'm gassed for. I've never had a bad experience with an A24 film. There's been some that I haven't loved, but I've never disliked one. And I just really appreciate how diverse their storytelling is. Not even diverse just in the sense of casting, but just how many stories they tell that are so different to the Hollywood stuff that is put on our screen constantly. Like, the stories are so unique and they represent so many different peoples, and I just love that. One of the first ones that I'm really excited for is Marty Supreme. I love Timothy. He is literally my favourite, like, Gen Z actor. I think he's great. I am super excited about this. It's based on a real table tennis star, I think, Marty Reisman. So this is like a biopic kind of, but it's also A24's most like big budget film yet, which seems quite surprising given that it doesn't sound like something that's going to have like the most effects or anything. Like, obviously they've done a lot of horror, so I'm really excited to see what they do with this. Then we have Enemies, and if you're a fan of The Bear, you might have seen Jeremy Allen White is actually filming this right now with Austin Butler, and basically it is about a serial killer and a detective going toe to toe, which I presume is those two actors. Big fan of both of these actors. Austin, I think, is so underrated. Like, his portrayal as the villain in Dune 2, so good. Jeremy I've been a big fan of for a long time because I love Shameless US, and obviously The Bear is my favourite TV show. So I think he's killer. So I'm really excited to see what they do with this and who is playing which character. I haven't looked into it too much because I do kind of want to be surprised, but I love true crime. I love the cast of this. I love A24. It can only be a winner. Then we've got Wicked Part 2 for good. No one mourns the wicked. So excited. unlike literally everybody else, I have never seen the stage show. I don't know a thing about the plot, so I have no idea where part 2 of this film is going. All I know is that I'm a big fan of Ariana. I am. I do think they picked the right person for Glinda. I obviously love Cynthia as well, because have you ever heard her voice? Like, so good. So yeah, I'm just excited to see where this goes. Pretty much just like everybody else. I feel like any musical theatre or any fantasy girly is excited for this one. Arguably, this is the most excited I am for a TV show, and that's The Testaments. Obviously, we're currently in the midst of Handmaid's Tale season 6 in the UK, which is literally one of my top 4 TV shows ever. I actually have a podcast episode about my top 4 of everything. If you want to go and watch it, I'll link it in the description below. But yeah, The Testaments, I vaguely know the plot of this. So I vaguely know who it's about, who's going to be in it from Handmaid's Tale. So therefore I'm very excited, especially because one of the people in it is just such an insane character, like a character that you hate, love, but has so much nuance, so much complexity, is such a great actor as well playing them. Really excited to see where this goes, because it's also 15 years later, so we might get some ends tied up. Yeah, just really excited to be back in the world of Gilead, even though that sounds super weird to say. And then finally, I am very excited for We Were Liars, which is coming to Prime soon. I know a lot of people didn't love that book, and maybe it's because I read it such a long time ago, but I really enjoyed it. I think it was just a cute, like, YA thriller, but did have somewhat poignant themes, so it was just a fun time. I'm really excited to see this come to screen, because I can definitely see that certain scenes in the book would lend themselves to like cinema and being cinematic. Obviously, if you haven't read it, maybe you want to skip forward to the outro of this video, but if you have read it, there is obviously a big fire. A lot of scenes in the book feel quite cinematic. There was a cute romance too. Like, I can see this being depicted through TV quite well, especially because there's so much politics between the characters, and there ended up being a sequel book too, which I haven't actually read. I think this will be the perfect like summer easy watch. I'm not expecting anything too crazy with it, but I'm excited nonetheless. But yeah, that is a lot of the film, TV and book releases I'm super excited about for the second half of this year. We've still got so much to come, and that's not even all of them. That's just the big ones that I'm personally excited for. If you have any that you have your eye on and you're excited for, drop it below too, so I can add it to my own list. But otherwise, I'll see you soon in another video to probably review one of these things. Like, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'll see you next Monday evening for another video. Love you. Bye.